Team seeing a lot of nuke. It seems like a map that you and I were wondering when we would ever see. And now with teams, now that the major's gone by and the summer break's gone in and we're getting back into the swing of things, is finally getting some play time. So we've seen quite a bit of differences. And I think Launders is right. There's still some unexplored stuff, but teams are building up some trends.
It's interesting to see it come into this kind of veto format as well, when you have ban, pick.
Yeah, good point by Vendetta to say that too.
It's kind of interesting in that fact. Normally we have ban, pick. That's when the underdogs are trying to slip it in there and trying to have a little bit of a wild card going on. But this is interesting. This is showing that Heroic probably have got something up their sleeve here. They're happy to play this. Dignitas, this is actually their pick. We know they're happy to go in. We've seen them plenty of times on this one. And it's like the pistol is about to begin. It will be Heroic on the T side, though. Red Eye pointed out, this is one of the few maps still in the pool that this is actually hugely important. It's like the early days of Inferno. Getting that CT start meant a tremendous amount. It actually means if you can post a really solid score, like you get a 12-3 or 13-2, you put a lot of pressure on winning the pistol in the second half. So pistols as well. Nuke, it's insanely important. If you can pick them up on the CT half, it applies, well, I guess it puts you in an amazing position, a huge advantage going forward. But here we go then. One smoke in the hand of Modi. And he uses that towards Squeaky Door. His teammates are getting ready towards ramp.
4x3 and digital vibrance for Config. For us, we get the spectator version. It's going to be Mad just rotating down around to the lower site, push back on ramp already. But Glaive, he wants Turnpike. They want to wrap around. They want to go toward the upper site. We see T2 do this with the addition of a smoke. They've not thrown it there. Instead, it's Modi who tries to smoke off and work through Squeaky, but they win that battle back, and therefore they've dropped the bomb down to the site. They've got to commit. Volta's got to go down on top of the hut. He gets caught on the ladder and nearly costs him as Config puts some damage in, but he recovers, and he's been so good. How great would it be if he pulls this back as well, give them the advantages. He drops in, and Magic's found. He's got a lineup on MSL. It's an awkward exchange. P2000 does have armor, or rather, excuse me, ammo skill. Meanwhile, the Glock does not because he goes to the knife, but he's wrapped around. He's got time to pick up a secondary, and he's going to go back in for battle. Both peeking, but through the hole in the door, MSL. He's got a lovely shot. Bomb's been grabbed in all of this chaos. I know it's hard to keep track of. I struggle as well, but MSL's going to rotate down, and we just saw something very clever from Glaive. He's wrapped back around immediately to upper.
Well, the vent hasn't been shot out yet, so he knows that's a possibility. But you can hear him towards main. Here we go. Glaive's still at 35 seconds, though. He's just still using the mind games to his advantage. He goes back towards Secret, and MSL, great position for this setup.
And I think MSL heard him go back as well, but either way, he's waiting for a plant at this point because going up the ladder is so linear, so televised in that sense. Vent goes out. Okay. Glaive's going to know this. 18 seconds, he's got to commit to this plant, but he's got a little time, so the first opportunity, MSL's not going to bite on it, making it even harder for Glaive, who climbs back up. Exchange is made. 9 seconds. Now he'll go for the plant. MSL goes back out, doesn't know where he is, but it gets Glaive off it. 4 seconds, he has to hold it. He has no choice, and MSL's going to go out and get him as a result. He gets a 1 versus 2. Lovely shot through the door, and then the mind games, Glaive gets carried away.
I love that position down the lower bomb side there. He didn't know whether he was going to go for the plant, had no idea MSL's position. Or what I thought was interesting is MSL didn't even wait for the plant before he gave his position away. He was hiding in defense. He had to be advantage of not being shot out yet as well. I thought, okay, well, we'll wait for the full plant to come in, then he'll show his place out of the vents. He shot it before and got Glaive panicking. That was very interesting there. MSL with 4 kills. Weren't the cleanest, but he manages to get 4 nonetheless. And that 2 versus 1 was impressive towards the end. The shot through the door, like you mentioned, and then winning the 1v1. The bomb was planted. So this is an interesting decision from Heroic. Not getting the rifles in the third. They're going for a force buy in the second. It's going to be aggressive through Squeaky Door. Modi opens things up. Occasion B, strong as ever, takes down 2.
Volta gets back up ladder to throw a smoke on site, but they are firmly pushing down this ladder position. MSL's hot on the heels, though. Open plant. We saw Dignitas. They had troubles trying to defuse this themselves just the other day, but it's not going to be a problem this time around because everyone's dead, so MSL can sit as open as he likes.
Well, there it is, another plant though. So Dignitas pick up 2-0, and Heroic will take an eco this round, but they're fine for the first gun round. That plant enables them to have money available. Didn't find many kills there, just the plant, the dive down the vents. And you get the initial kill as well. Got a bit interesting with those Tech 9s. We discussed that snowball effect. If you get the first kill, pick of a rifle, interesting things can happen. But Cajun B, he held strong and managed to take down 2 before he died. But pretty simple affair here for Dignitas in round number 3. Molotovs come out to stop the initial rush, and looks like more of a default play from Heroic, seeing if he can do anything with the Deagles.
Modi and Freeze boosting outside. Trying to find a shot with those Deagles out toward Red Crate. Meanwhile, it's Valda, Twinkie. They're losing numbers quickly on this Heroic side from a distance. Config. One more, bomb down, make it another. Nice little headshot, to be fair, with that strafe peek. It's just Snappy versus 4.
Yeah, well, not many options either, I'm afraid, for Snappy, as he's holding towards Radio Room. I guess we still got a Radio Room. It's not really important as important part of the map anymore. It seems the T's don't tend to go in there too much, but
yeah,
CTs definitely use it to push and get the flanks in the back. I guess there's no radios in there anymore. I guess it's like the trophy room.
Was it Kirby that was pushing around through there for Astralis? Does that make sense? I think it was Kirby that was pushing it to try and pincer them back. Someone did it this weekend a lot, actually. It was the only time we have seen radio used. But I don't care if there's radios in there or not. That's what I'm going to call it. Just like Pop Dog stays as Pop Dog, and there's even the homage to it.
Yep, I agree.
Goose, Kitty. There's classic calls that have to exist for a reason.
Are you talking about Kitty on Mill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
That's my favorite.
Yep.
Bring back the Kitty.
All right, then. Well, Kitty's aside, it's going to be the first gun round here. Heroic 3-0 down. They don't have an AWP on the T side, not necessarily a bad thing. It depends on your approach and what kind of playstyle you're going for. If you have heavy execution, sometimes it can be detrimental to you going forward. And Glaive using that smoke, and then Rubino, what is this? Through the squeaky door. Let's get taken down by Snappy, but Config and MSL doing work with the UMPs apparently, and they managed to take down 2 terrorists. MSL 11 HP and actually upgrade to an M4A1S. Not a bad push after all.
Not bad at all, indeed, but 11 HP gives them the man advantage, slows Heroic down considerably.
Well, any execution they had in mind or set piece has been shut down quite early on, and that's a good thing to do in the first the first gun round as well. Sorry.
But they can still be explosive onto this site with Config being the high HP player on a UMP, but smoking off main will limit some of the options. Weird bounce on that nade when it landed. I wonder what texture that hit on the floor. Doria not yet blown out either. Glaive, you can almost just go on this, but this Molotov will land where Config is. That'll push him back out. Freeze knows he's there because now there is a slight hole. And he's able to spot him running back. Config, he's going to push into it, though. He's got bombed down. He realizes it, turns back, and they're just going to sit on this. They've already rotated preemptively down toward lower, but goes back. And that door, don't knock, don't bother, just barge through as Freeze does exactly that against Config.
After doing such great work there and getting the bomb down, was there a need to face in the 4-on-2? I'm not so sure. Fritz now has got opportunities. They're 3-on-2, but you can see MSL, like we said before, very low HP. The good news is for the CTs at this point, only 25 seconds remaining. I think they had Magic Boy down lower. He's covering that situation, I believe, behind the silo, so they should be fine here. All he has to do is delay as long as possible. Kills help as well. He gets the first, looking for the second. Does damage, but is staying alive for now.
Low HP. Nearly actually made that work. Matt just was a little bit awkward re-peeking it, but there we go. Just one thing I've noticed as well that no one's really made mention of is smoking the outer yard. Sure, it's still fairly easy once you learn it, but there used to be a very cool smoke that you could bounce and it was faster to throw off of a building outside of where the fence is as you wrapped around silo, and it would land pretty much right in front of Secret, and you could do it much faster. That doesn't exist anymore, so you kind of have to know the set smoke lineups, and it slows you down just a little bit to do them. Very minor differences, but it's little things like that that definitely are changing the complexion of this map and that outer yard in specific with the addition of Catwalk all the way around.
We saw an aggressive round from Dignitas in the first gun. That picks him up to 4-0, but Config opened things up here in number 5. It's going to be another eco for Heroic. They're going to be getting some outside presence as well, but Config, he's not taking this lightly as Cajun B chimes in as well. 5-on-2, Moddy and Snappy, the last players remaining. Magic Boy aggressive, of course, towards ramp, and it's just going to be Snappy once again by himself, and this is getting a little bit out of control for Heroic here. They will have guns into the next round with the maximum loss bonus, but I'd like to see the AWP come out. We know Freeze, he's the kind of player that likes to work those long-range picks. Missing quite a lot of shots this tournament, I have to say, but they have been picking up wins. They found themselves straight into the quarterfinals here after winning their first 2. I guess in their group, that was a bit of a shock, seeing as the Astralis were in there as well. We all do consider them to be the best team in Denmark, but maybe not so much anymore.
Yeah, changing of the guard, perhaps. Could be any of the 3, based on what we're seeing now, but Config rips the head clean off his opposition, the last remaining player. And as you say, though, there will be guns coming out this time for Heroic. Freeze needs to step up, as do the rest of his team. Not calling him out specifically. They've all got to contribute, especially on nuke. You didn't win pistol T-side. You've got to grind it out. That might be the ugliest knife in the game, Magis.
Safari Mesh. Well then, 5 AKs. No orb once again, as I speculated for Freeze. It's going to be another tactical execution, perhaps. They got shut down before by the aggression of the UMPs, which we discussed before, which is a great idea. A lot of teams on the first gun round will try and do something a little bit surprising, a little bit fancy, but Config This time he's actually going towards Secret. He's looking for that aggressive pick at the start of the round. We'll see whether that works out for him. I'll jump on his screen. He actually does have Glaive right in front of him behind the red box, and this could get interesting as Glaive is watching that position as well. Does Config dare go any further with this? Actually takes his hands off his keyboard and mouse there for a second, just readjusting.
Well, we don't often see the CTs play Secret anymore. It used to be a very common spot in the previous iteration of Nuke. That's more like it for a knife. I don't know why I'm even talking about those. I don't care about skins.
I know. I'm interested why you are as well.
Well, Glaive, they try the wraparound. That means they did bypass the player that was waiting towards Secret. It's Freeze and Madi that will get response kills. Gives them something to work with here. They haven't rotated as well into Heaven right now, which means KGB with that AWP is not yet primed and ready. He's just getting back around now, but a Molotov means a few more seconds. But it doesn't matter, does it? If Config does exactly that, takes two in Magic. He's able to close it out. KGB just looks over. Hey, guys, I'll give you high fives. That was part of it, but not really.
Config there. He doesn't get the aggressive kills at the start, but pushes in behind from Secret. Great positioning, gets into that main entrance and shuts down the outside split. Pretty standard round so far from Murray. Can't get anything on the board, and the maximum loss bonus is working in their favor. Finally, Freeze does bring out the AWP. It's still fine. It's still early stages here. Matt 6-0 looks scary, but you can actually get through with 4 rounds. 5 is actually kind of ideal on the T-side these days. It's absolutely fine if you don't win the pistol. So Fritz with the AWP. Aggressive play from Modi towards Ramperum, and we'll see if Config now. He's got the AWP, which is surprising. Has a double orb set up on Nuke. That's pretty uncommon. Definitely viable, but we'll see if it works out for Dignitas here. Config is smoked out for now. Will he get a gap there? I don't think he will. Smoke is pretty spot on. Oh, hello. Something to work with. He's wanted the feed.
Premature day in high school as he fires too soon. It doesn't land. And Madi, 31 HP, is inside. This will give them a bit of an advance. Not only that, Volta, he's on top of that mini position, that new drop down, easily made from Twinkie. You don't have to jump yourself up there anymore. It's common they'll get here, no one to boost. And it does damage onto Config. This will push him back so far. Look at Freeze. He's got Heaven covered off. Glaive is going to just wrap around on this, but they have pulled the second man over. That's the problem. And the question is, does Glaive read that KGB's back by Big Garage? He certainly does. Shot down now. Config's in trouble. 15 HP, and they're swarming onto his position.
Yeah, this is all down to Glaive's positioning, but apparently Config's finding shots here. He gets the first. Haven't he got 2 there? That would have been so ideal, but finally, Heroic have an advantage to work with here. Actually going to be splitting towards ramp as well. That position looks open to me. I can't really tell from the minimap. It's going to be Magis rotating in from lower. The last line of defense is shut down by Snappy, and now it's just up to MSL. He's actually all the way towards upper, so he has done good work from this position before. If he can just find some kills, do some damage to the economy, that would work. But Chris finally starts arriving on the map here. You can see him with a sigh of relief.
6-1 though. This is massive reset potential. They keep...
Had MSL got a couple of kills there, it would have been really scary.
Yeah, exactly, because they keep enough players alive that they'll carry over some residual cash, and means they could still potentially force buy out.
They could do 3 AKs and 2 Tech 9s if they were to lose this, depending on how many kills they get. But let's see how it goes down for them. They want to start getting stuff in a row here. The double orb setup doesn't really work out for Dig there. Like I said, it's a pretty unorthodox setup. You get the bomb down. It's so hard to retake in some position. But 3 players, 4 Dig outside this round. Cajun B the AWP this time. This is back to basics, what we expect from them. And that smoke is pretty clever from Glaive. He gets a lot of vision towards outside, and the smoke covers him very nicely indeed.
No cross Big Red, but again, they've got a rifle player inside of that secret position. It's Rubino that's playing it again. He'll bait in and off of Cajun B, but they've lost MSL, so Heroic will start off this reset round with the opening pick. It's essential at this point in time. Smoke out on Hut will slow them a little further, as we can see. The dead CT player sitting with an M4 beside his corpse. Not that it matters. There's AKs on the other side. I wouldn't swap over, but you never know what comes into effect if ammo runs out. Snappy's going to go ahead and take down Magisk. Config's timed this. Whoa, so well, yet so far away. And it's going to be information, at least, that they are pushing on to the ramp room. Already down on the lower site. Volta's going to go for the safe plant down behind the silo. It's for the double doors at control, not for decontamination, which seems to be the common trend as of late. But are they getting off of this already? Dignitas are, so never mind the reset. 5 stay alive. Plus you had, as you said, what was it, 3 AKs and 2 Tech 9s in hand. They've got basically 2 rounds built up quite quickly, Heroic.
Yeah, this is actually much more promising for them on this gun round. Working the picks and this kickoff with Frisk finds one and Snappy towards the ramp room as well. It's Magis Boys there by himself. Once you kill him, that's one of the portals of the map, we say. Once you get control of ramp room, it opens up your options, especially with the man advantage as well. The CTs have to rotate down. The limited of options now is only that 1 vent and lower. They have to go all the way around. If you're able to drop the smoke towards the window room and towards Deacon as well, it means you can get an easy plant down. And you can see the CTs, even though it's a 5-on-3, a lot of maps that would be viable on nuke towards lower. It's just not. And there it is. The room erupts for the first time here as the bomb explodes. Everything okay? I heard some strange noises.
It's just someone with a nice noisemaker that accompanies the bomb.
Right.
I wish the bomb made friendly noises in this game. It's too violent, Henry. It's far too violent.
The game is quite violent.
We heard Lekro's story. His mom thought the game was too violent, so we need to switch it.
All right. Well, we'll work on that.
Just kidding. Glaive again, though, same smoke. He's going to try and spot above it. It's Config that's out there this time because they want to try and get more dynamic with Cajun B. And therefore, if I'm not mistaken, he'll be back toward heaven. He's actually quite good, Cajun B, in that position. He's one of the people who plays it more conservatively with the new addition of Catwalk, and therefore he just kind of waits for calls and information from his teammates. So the rifle outside serves as much, maybe not to get kills, but to allow Cajun to make the very crucial decisions. Does he cover the upper site? Does he rotate to ladder if they hit ramp? Or does he have to sit and wait for the wraparound that upper outside? So he just plays reaction based on information in this round.
The smokes are being dropped towards outer, designed to take vision away from Cajun as he looks towards Silo. For now, easy shot, which he does land as well.
And he's moved. So he's definitely gotten off that heaven position early, which pulls Config back into the mix. He's able to take down Freeze wrapping. They're being very dynamic on this CT side right now, but watch Monty through. It's Config to wrap around. That's the turnpike coverage. That's what the dynamic play does. So Cajun leaves that position, Config fades away, gets a kill outside, and then is perfectly timed for the rotation to find one inside. But it's a late lurk Glaive. It's only going to amount to 1 kill. Remember, they've built up money. They'll still be able to buy Heroic. Nuke, excuse me.
Go on.
It's still very CT-sided, so 3 rounds
course.
is doable. If they can get up to 4 or 5 rounds, we've got a game.
Absolutely, and the good kill from Glaive there towards the end, although the round was out of reach, he actually managed to keep the CT money pretty low because they couldn't recover the AWP towards CT spawn. That means that they had to reinvest, so still, if they were to lose this round, the CT's in a very precarious situation. Heroic, they're down to their last investment as well. They get the AWP out once more. This round is another huge one going forward in this series. 7-2 after picking up Cobble. Dignitas in a great position, but still a lot of work to do here. Heroic starting to come to life here on the T side, once again towards outer, using the smokes correctly, and they find the first pick on Config as well.
Freeze tries to use the lovely parking pillar to see above the containers outside. Snappy's just going to wait with Maudie. We've yet to see any skylight utilization so far from Heroic.
Not really, no. It's been about working the pits.
Look at this push through. Hang on 1 second. Hold the phone. They're pushing both sides of it. Magisk is going to pull this back. That's actually quite clever. Let's just go. Let's attack them. There's no one outside. We can see it. We've got the information. Let's take the fight. It costs them 1, and unfortunately life on MSL, but Cajun B's pulled that back. But I don't necessarily disagree with the approach of trying to do so. Cajun B will fall bomb. That's a plant for sure now for Heroic. Magic's been silent about getting into this position. AWP beside him, but I imagine he'll stick to the M4 in this situation. Be lovely if he could find the kills before dropping down, but with 46 HP.
Save the AWP.
Yeah. That's the hard part, because if he drops down and commits to this, even if he can save, all right, the AWP's gone. He can't get back there.
Okay.
I guess you can go up hut if he really thinks he can get that far, but they'll hear him doing so in this new version of Nuke, and there you go. He doesn't even take the risk. Freeze is just waiting for him.
Yeah, I think considering the situation that I said the CT money was going to be low regardless, I think they're saving the AWP there, and they would have been able to buy around that. You can see 5K on Rubino, 35 on Cajun. They could have 43 and 45 on the MSL. I think saving that AWP, there was a buy available there. That was ambitious, to say the least. He drops down, loses half his HP from the rafters, and has no idea where the terrorists are. Bad call, in my opinion. Could have had something to work with in this one. This is to be the partial buy. It looks like an aggressive play from the T's that is rush up here.
Oh, Rubino's going to try and get there in time, but he's a little late. Damage dealt. No kill. Snappy on to 11 HP, and Cajun B, he's got less than that. 3 kills for Snappy to start this off. He's going to get a 4th. The first to his name means no ace. I know we like to keep track of those. We're all a fan of them. We've seen a lot this weekend. Got to stop saying weekend as well. We're so used to tournaments just being weekends. This is a 5-day event with 16 teams.
Yeah, this is the final quarter. The last quarterfinal of the day. Tomorrow we bring you 2 semis and the grand final. It has been a long tournament. best of threes
Crazy,
for them.
crazy part is 16-team tournament with $300,000 prize pool. And we look at this and go, it's just another tournament. Last year, this was more prize money than a major with the same format.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we're getting a little bit spoiled now.
I would say we are. I mean, I remember going to studio lands. Every land we go to seems to be in a large arena now, and people take it for granted, I have to say.
Absolutely. Well then, Dignitas, after such a fantastic start, and actually going up, what was it, 6-0. Heroic have started to wake up here on the T side. We said 5 rounds would be good. They're looking to get a lot more here by the way they're playing right now. Huge advantage in terms of the money. No orbs available for Dignitas here. 5 rifles, no kits, limited utility. A great chance for Heroic to get number 5 and really sink their teeth into this first half.
Volta just going to wait for anyone to push through this time because let's not have that happen twice, but the 4-round Heroics picked up. It's something to work with as Freeze has a T-sided AWP, and not surprisingly, it's just sitting stationary toward the outer position waiting for an opportunity. Freeze, again, not necessarily known for his flashy mechanics. I spoke to him again about that just the other day, and there's no doubt about it. He's aware of it. It's the finger issue. Cut himself as a carpenter and doesn't have the full use of, I believe it's his ring finger on his keyboard side.
The hard grind before the pro gamer days.
Yeah. Hard grind for a pro gamer for Freeze. It's been a lot of years coming, and finally he's getting some success, but they still got to take down Dignitas, who this time have a crossfire set inside of the ramp room, Majisk with 2, KJ with 1. And this position, I talk about it so much, Rubino, it's such an advantaged position for him in the headshot. He's been forced back off of it, though, by Glaive. And speaking of Freeze, he's made this back to 1, so if Glaive finds this kill against Rubino, they can actually start to wrap back around because Ramp's been lost. Heroic, they've opened this back up. Glaive's going to open up the door to decontamination to find Freeze already inside of the site. His teammates made it. They've smoked off as well. It's, it's a missed smoke, but covers him from the ramp, but not, unfortunately, from Config, who wraps around the other direction. MSL's got a problem. That's the vent. He's got to bust that out. He'll do it right now. Glaive, he's going to try. This is like the pistol round. He busting that vent out is trying to pull Glaive off the plant, and it's Glaive again that goes against him. It's another one-on-one between these two, and they're both with rifles. They're both with armor, and the decontamination door closed, though. Glaive's going to play cat and mouse, and the dog's going to kill the cat in the end. It's Glaive with the kill through the door.
What a round. 5 seconds remaining in the mind games, and it's going to be Glaive holding his nerve there. Couldn't do it in the pistol, but MSL outsmarted this time. 5 seconds, he shoots a banner like he said to try and give off the signal, I'm coming for you, I'm going to stop you planting. I guess at that point, Glaive's got a decision to make. Do I face and I take the challenge? If he's not there, I've lost the round. If he has faked it, and I do get the plant down, I still have another lifeline there. I guess in terms of percentages, you've got more options to work with in that scenario. Well, here we go then. Another rush. This seems to be the go-to anti-ego strategy. Is working out once again. The P90 spraying off, but it can't actually find any kills just yet. It's Modi and Glaive and Friss as well, apparently, to find the first 2 kills. And Config does what he can with the Deagle for main entrance, but that's about all he can do. His teammates are falling around him, and this is Zerora getting right back into this game. Round number 6 has been obtained. Dignitas having a bit of a struggle here since the gun rounds have started. They get the 6-0, sure, but they had complete control of the economy game early on.
AK grabbed for Snappy as well to watch off on this bomb, and Heroic, I dare say, has done an excellent job on this T-side recovery. They didn't have a pistol. They were down 5-1. 6-0, and then 6-1.
Yeah.
With the reset, but they avoided that, and now they've got money built up. They're flying. They've got 6 rounds T-side nuke. We're not saying. I do think the map is going to eventually go this way, but we're not there yet, so this is impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely not there yet. We're waiting for a top team to really etch out how we should be playing it and what are the different ideas. You're going to see those at the big tournaments. I think at the next major in January, that's when we're going to see some really exciting nuke stuff. There'll be some time to actually develop and theorize what's possible on this map, and that's what I'm looking for. This was a sick play from Glaive in that round. That was the beginning of it. But,
that saved the round ultimately because it was a 3 versus 2 and it gave them lower sight.
Well then, round number 14, money available. You can see Dignitas has been struggling in the last few gun rounds. They just have to keep going in with 5 rifles. No incendiaries, just smokes and no AWP, and that can be so detrimental to a terrorist team that focus towards outside. You can't really challenge this one. You just have to allow them to have it. Config's been trying to do what he can, but he's had equal exchanges in most encounters. Cajun B towards heaven. Just watching the cross towards Secret for now.
Config jumping.
Oh, be careful.
That's a nice shot from Freeze, actually.
He headshots him through the container to a player without head armor.
And I'm not even... Would it have been through the container or through the catwalk?
It would have been, well, either
or. Yeah, but I mean, it's still
a headshot of an orb.
Responsive, yeah.
And it had with no head armor. Still Does considerable damage, but you'd think it'd do more, but there we go.
Volda now has a chance to spray through Config. Oh, those laser beam tracers we see nearly take his kneecaps out, and that would have been enough in this situation as Cajunbee's got one. Now, again, he's very good in this position. This is one of Cajun's best spots, in my opinion, right now in all of Counter-Strike, as he's going to try and rotate around, but it's Rubino that steps up on top of Hut. And Cajun's gone back up. This is where he has to read it because they've lost outside control and somewhat, but he can go back around toward the mini position. He could watch Turnpike. He's usually good there. Either way, it doesn't matter. 4 versus 1. Magic's able to close it out. But I like that they've got a few different faces to them right now on this CT side, that they can put Cajun out toward the garage. They can put Rubino down towards Secret, which not every team does. Now that round he's on Hut, and Cajun's back at Heaven. They've got very different strategies.
Yeah, Rubino, we saw how pumped up he was. He had a lot of fire in his belly going into this one. He's had a very quiet game so far. Even after that 3-man match, he's only got 5 kills. So he's been very quiet in this first half. But that doesn't matter how quiet you are if you're winning big rounds like that.
That's a big miss on that Molotov. Top of the vent, it bounced awkwardly. It deploys itself in the air. And Rubino seems like a guy, remember, he took a break. And coming into this tournament, part of the reason they lost 16-3 to Dignitas, they weren't playing a lot because Rubino just needed some time off. Shaved the beard, comes back refreshed, and he's looking pretty good in this game, but Glave's already got outside, and Config's going to walk directly into him.
Surely if you haven't got any vision towards outside, you've got to be thinking that's a possibility. Cajunbee without the orb, he can't really face it, can't give you too much information, and Config has had some success in that area, but this time completely shut down. Glave's having a hell of a game here on the T side. One of my favorite players to watch this year after he came back into the professional scene. 8-6, and Heroic, if they can pick up 7, even if you're not winning the half on nuke, that's a tremendous score to post. A big challenge and a message sent toward Dignitas as Cajunbee's fighting back.
And a pre-fire toward him. I don't think he's been spotted in this. Regardless, they're not going to confront. Flash out. It's too late. They're already around the corner. Rubino's in the vent this time. He's not going to play the headshot position to Glaive, which he lost last time. That railing certainly gets in the way of Magiskoid. Allows Maudie to come back into him, and now a plant inside of the smoke. But Cajunbee does pull back into the aforementioned Maudie, and MSL in the door. He's got low HP on Glaive. This time he opens it. He's successfully. They could go for the diffuser right. It isn't 1 versus 2. There's still smoke on it, but Freese, he's got to go Tech 9. And his Techie's going to set a trap this time because the AWP won't work up close. He walks out, and Cajunbee's going to catch him in the process.
Exciting first half, I have to say. Heroic starting off slowly, 6-0 down. Once the money got rolling for them, though, they got that first round on the board. They managed to avoid the reset, and you can see Dignitas struggling throughout the gun rounds there. Not really having the money to work with there. They tried some different setups. It started to come together towards the end. They do finish with 9-6. It's a decent score for the Terrorists, so I have to say. Without a pistol especially, that's very impressive. Them to come back from a 6-0 deficit and find that kind of score. If they are to win the pistol, they're straight back into this map. Absolutely, yeah.
So, 9-6 on nuke.
Pistol round on nuke is so crazy.
Well, and they didn't get it to get those 6 rounds on Heroic side. And for a while, I didn't think they were even going to come close. Cajunbee 13 kills versus Freeze. T-side AWP, not something we normally attribute to him, on 12, which is very, very good. And don't forget, all these statistics are available on the Score Esports app. You can download it in an iOS App Store or Google Play. And we're back into play because it's going to be 9-6 as mentioned, and it's going to be Dignitas starting off with the T side. They've got Magiskoid playing onto a utility role, the rest into armor, and it's 5 sets of armor for Heroic. So if they get a fast plant out of this, no kits available to them. Remember that.
Oh, Magis can't get in the vent. He's trying his best. He doesn't know where he is. He put a smoke down for himself. And it's a bit messy, but they do get towards upper. But Frisk gets the first headshot. This is falling apart for Dignitas.
That's a massive blunder, but they pulled it back at least. Magisk has pulled 2 kills back after starting off poorly. Volda and Glaive, though, they've wrapped back around. It's just 1 player remaining. It's Cajunbee, and he's got nothing to work with so far, and that's how it's going to end. They get a plant out of this, so we might get some early guns. We might not see a 9-9, but that did look pretty awkward for Magisk out inside of its squeaky door.
Those are one of those tactics. You're on the server, and you're doing the practice runs. You're like, guys, one of us has got to try and get another vent through the smoke. But let's do some dry runs here. And we're just like, yeah, I can do that every time. I've practiced it. I've done it over and over again on LAN. I won't screw that up. It comes to one of the biggest games of the tournament so far. Running out of squeaky. Shoots the vent out, but he's just bumping into the side of it. Had he got down there, that starts forcing rotations from CTs. And I guess at that point, he said, I can't get down, I can't get down. His teammates had to force themselves into upper. And Fritz, it was quite a passive hold from the CTs towards that upper bomb side. He's just picking them off with the USP. So there it is, Heroic straight back into this now on the heavily favored CT side. they manage to pick it up. It should be a 9-9 scoreline. At that point, everything's reset.
Rubino shows the young man how it's done. He finds the hole quickly and goes down below. It's going to be Magisk Boy that falls to Glaive, though. And MSL, though, quick rotation around. Bombs planted. They've got a chance in this. He's picked up an M4. So Dignitas giving themselves a fighting chance as Freeze will, though, take back on Cajun B. It's still only a one-man advantage with this bomb down. Rubino's going to try and bait them in, but that door, he opens it up the wrong way. Inside he goes, and Volta's going to find him up. Now that M4 comes to play, and MSL falls. Config, P250, 3 seconds on the defuse, and he won't even get beyond the vent. Decent round, all things considered. Two plants now. They're going to have guns for sure for Dignitas.
Yeah, absolutely. Loads of money here going forward. They managed to get 3 kills on the CTs as well, so we'll start it off as a difficult half for them. Has got a lot better. And will be Heroic struggling for cash here after the reinvestment. You can see them getting M4s. Still pretty reasonable. It's just Glaive who's feeling the burn a little bit more. He's on the UMP, but this is strong for Dignitas. We know they're a good T-Setter team. This is their pick, remember. They managed to overcome Heroic on Cobble, and this is one of the final tests, I guess. If Dignitas can close things out here and book themselves a place in the semi-final, what a great tournament this has been for them so far. Smokes towards outside, pretty standard so far, but Glaive so strong outside. We saw it on T-side. Can he perform on the CT? He's only got the UMP, decides to fall back.
So, Glaive concedes the wall of smoke. You mentioned this the other day. Well, that's got a gap. That's a huge gap. And you mentioned the radar as well. They're going to see everyone, not just have to put the crosshair on them. It calls for Snappy on the rotation. One falls. Oh, get the nade out. No, that's a problem. Cajun B, thank you very much. He's not the problem this time. It's Magisk Boy to trade on Glaive as well. So bomb site, Dignitas, they've got this. They can try and get the plant down and shouldn't have too much trouble in doing so long as they swiftly move in the process of doing it. And Rubino's a long lurk away, but he's going to wait and try and catch them off going down vents.
Not the prettiest so far.
This is interesting, though. They win lower, and because of Rubino and vents, they're anticipating a faster flank. They haven't got it just yet. There's one still in the upper site. Oh, I take that back. Okay, mini-map.
Yeah,
thank you, Nuke.
In the lobby.
I thought he was outside of mini.
That would have been interesting, but for now, they've sacrificed lower. The
Rubino's going to go down. Rubino's going to go down. He's getting pushed right now. He's flanked. Volta's down, and now they have to make the decision. Wait a minute. We had the lower site. Freeze is rotated, and we've gone upper. They've come back from ramp on no activity, and Config walks in, at least finds Volta. That's going to make it back to another 2 versus 2, but the HP's gone on the Dignitas side, and it's back over toward ramp. Potentially could be a threat. They don't have the information on it, Madi. He's got one. It's just Config left. 12 seconds. Bomb inside of the smoke. He can't go lower. He's got to get behind the silo and smartly plants to cover off from Hunt as well, but he's going to get taken down, and I dare say they cost themselves that by not taking the opportunity to plant lower immediately.
I guess at that point, they assume the CDs will be rotating back towards lower. The thing is, if you're going to do that and go back towards outer, you need to be acting very quickly. They just basically wasted all the efforts towards that lower side. They got the equal exchange. You know the CTs are up against the ropes. It's definitely a T-sided affair when you have the 3-on-3s and the CTs have no idea what you're doing. They can't actually get any vision from you. I would say it's either one or the other. You can't just lurk around at that point and allow the CTs to readdress the issue. And it's now going to be 9-9 Heroic. Pulling things back after that was a difficult situation for them. It's another eco. The bomb's dropped. That was MSL trying to get it down. It's a ramp split, at least an attempted one. Magisk answers back with a Tech 9 kill on towards Modi. But this round is over by the looks of things. Not really much I can do now. The bomb has been dropped.
Oh, that's so awkward. You finish reloading. You're already jumping, and you just can't do anything about strafe mechanics to get away from that nade. You just look at it, and it takes you down as Magisk Boy. Dignitas. Early gun rounds. Great second round as well. 2 bomb plants. You've got it made, and somehow it slips away. Now, so too is money, and so too is the lead. Heroic's about to take it to 10-9. Unless Magisk Boy can pull off something absolutely incredible. Volta's gone out to the main entrance of lobby as well, which should catch Magisk off. I doubt he'll check that. He may, with time as it is, but bomb way down below. It's all but done, I dare say.
I would agree. Magisk Boy.
Here it is, yeah. Not going to check it at all. Volta, free kill, and done.
Doing what they can, but this is Heroic. Making a very convincing case of taking it to the third map, I have to say. This sort of position. They've got money swelling for them on the CT side, and Dignitas haven't brought anything amazingly interesting as of yet. It's currently going to be 4-0 on the second half. After picking up the pistol, we said as soon as they did that on the second, it's all bets are off, and Dignitas are going to have to work really hard here.
So line up. Where he's looking right now is essentially where the old building you could bounce off of was. He thinks he can bounce off the fence regardless. Now are you seeing some skylight play? Thank you, Rubino. I applaud you. The man that does maintenance at the nuke does not, though. He's got to replace those windows.
I don't think he'll have a job after this. After a bomb explodes inside it.
Could be a good point. So bounce off the fence. We'll cover it. Close smoke now. It doesn't go as far as it used to. Config's going to wrap on that. Freeze, meanwhile, way back where the AWP often resides. Garage watching that Twinkie position now. It's far too common. Maudie. Slight variation of the railing headshot. It's going to force them around to try and bait them in and get them a little bit further so Glaive can come into the picture. He's got damage in. Now they wrap the smoke off, though. That's going to make Glaive in an awkward position. They push through that smoke to try and find them. It leaves Maudie in the open. Glaive's gone down as a result of this and the turnpike rotation. Volda falls to Magisk. And although Maudie's wrapped back down, they still go toward him, and he's pulled it back. A lovely 2K. The round was falling apart. It was slipping away as Dignitas. They did so well to take out the 2 rotations and the crossfire, but yet still fall victim to Maudie. And MSL's left in a 1 versus 2 as they get found in the vents. He's got to go grab the bomb, though. Bottom of the ramp.
Great play from Maudie. Just saw the movement. That's what impressed me the most. For 20 seconds, MSL up against it here. How can he get away with this situation? He's going to take an absolute godlike shot. Spots ahead of Maudie. Not normally to call a player to pull those shots off, but he does it. Has to plant straight away. Friss, that's actually quite an intelligent plant. He won't be checking this one. He's got time to play with now.
He's got the door open, though. That gives away exactly where he is. He wants him to think he's gone inside, but Friss is still able to hit it. Back for the AWP. And back again for the bomb. Heroic now go up by 2.
Maudie, just to reiterate, I wish you could watch that back. The movement and the awareness as to what was going on in that round as well. Just delaying them from as long as possible, doing damage, pulling his teammates in. He's left alone in a horrible situation, but he knows he has to do more work here. He can't allow Dig to get towards lower. Sprays 2 of them down. Goes down eventually, makes it a 1v1, but gives Friss enough information to work with. Was intelligent from MSL to plant in that area. Not many people are going to plant there. You'd assume they're going to be planting behind the silo. Opens the door, like you said. That's a nice little bait. Friss nails a shot to finish things off, and Heroic now with a substantial lead, 11-9 on the CT side. That's the important factor. And Dig do have enough to buy with here. I think they're a max loss bonus. Yeah, they just hit it. So 5 AKs with the bomb plant. They can get some nades as well. Smokes once more towards outer. And Rubino, the same sort of play. Just shooting out those skylights, like you said. That's just keep things consistent and allow the CTs not to read into too much as to why they're going down.
Marcel already pushing that outer wall of smokes, but it's Glaive from high to catch MSL. Another early pick for Heroic. And Maudie again at the ramp. A lovely shot on the Rubino. Flash, don't you dare chase me down, because if you do, I'm in the same position, and you may get the same result. Sees the foot, spots the head, not quite, but that's going to cost him, in fact, as he falls, and Config finding Freeze. Volta's got to pull back into this. He's been quieter than we would have expected. Still a very, very formidable force throughout the course of these matches, but he's been a little more quiet in this game, partly due to Maudie, I suppose, stepping up in so many ways.
Yeah, well, Maudie has been very impressive. We'll have a look at the scoreboard quickly. He's actually only got 14, but it's a very equal scoreboard. Like, everyone Heroic is actually having a very good game here. Magisk Boy and Cajun B with 35 seconds remaining now, 3-on-2. They have got the bomb, and that's outside, actually. It's pretty far away from any sort of bomb site. As Glaive is patrolling towards main, it's going to take some sort of godlike play from one of them.
It's object clear out behind the vent, but that won't cover off anything except Glaive left to the Cajun B opening. It's now Volda, the man we talked about, who's had to go large and in charge against Magisk Boy. One-on-one for a while as well, because the rotation's not to heaven. A lovely shot from Magisk. He's got a bomb. 7 seconds, has to commit. Not up the ladder just yet. Nearly spotted. He's too far open. Surely he's exposed, and he is. Snappy's going to see it.
Starting to fall out of reach for Dignitas, yeah, now as they...
There's a timeout.
Yeah, 6-0 down, yet to post a single round here. Very similar scenes to what we saw in the first half. This is exactly what happened to Heroic. So the pause comes in. We've had lots of tight situations, lots of big clutches, one-on-ones all over the place, but every single time it's Heroic stepping up. It's just because Dignitas always, with so little time to work with a low HP, or it comes down to a horrible situation where the CT knows exactly where they are, knows they have to plant. This time it's Magisk Boy, low HP. 2 great shots to get him in a position where he could plant, but unfortunately with 5 seconds left, he had no other options, didn't know where the remaining CT was, had to go for it, and it's an easy shot to finish things off. Glaive here, he's been having a great game so far, you have to say. It's him and Vald once again. I would say quite easy to superstars of this team, but with this match, Everyone's stepping up. Molly's having a fantastic game. Snappy, a player we potentially don't talk about enough. He seems to be very consistent right now as well.
He's another guy that's really kind of just come onto this Danish scene and doesn't quite have the history behind him, perhaps to be, I guess, the known quantity, the proven quantity. So we don't give him the credit he's necessarily worth in that sense.
Well then, what's the play here?
I do like these massive glass booths, by the way. I just want to say
they
do look really good.
Much nicer than a big wooden construction with panels all around it. I think this looks much cleaner. I assume the glass is probably better at soundproofing as well than
it
timber.
Wouldn't transfer. Yeah, it wouldn't transfer as much through. I mean, the best soundproof ones, without a doubt, are the DreamHack ones, which cost
big
like
containers, right?
$20,000. Yeah, $20,000 each. They're like fortified, about 6 layers thick with soundproofing and an air conditioning pipe that literally wraps around it 5 times so that it can't transfer noise through.
Wow.
Yeah, but in terms of look, these ones look fantastic.
Well then, it is a partial buy. As I said, maximum loss bonus. The bomb not going down the previous, but they just want to keep the money around the 2K mark. It's getting a bit hairy now for Dignitas. We thought with this being their map pick, they'd be able to send us a message and show us what they're made of. Some really interesting setup executions and some great takes towards outside. So far it's been pretty lackluster. And this time, waiting for the smoke to dissipate around before they make their next move. I think there's 4 of them waiting in that area. Another smoke drops. I guess there's no rush at this point. Might as well wait up as Modi. He's been the danger man in that area. Looking to get fed once again as Glaive fires off a shot and actually headshots Config.
Yeah, that's discouraging, especially with no smoke out there. Dignitas yet to pick up a round in this second half, and it's Tech9's and Deagle to try and get them one finally against Madi, who this time can't find kills. He's got 1, potentially more. Nope, Cajun B's got him down. That's going to give them an AK to work with as well, which Rubino will swiftly pick up. Config's in a great position to try and catch them up, but Volda's not fooled. Neither is Snappy as he walks back in. Glaive, he's going to limit this to just MSL. That AK is going to have to be huge. 1 down, inside vent, second peek, and already taken down from behind anyway. The hands of Glaive, so it's going to go to 13 Heroic. I think map 3 is in the cards.
Absolutely. It looks like it really will be at this point because Dignitas, another partial buy. It's currently going to be 7-0 here on the second half. 13-9. They haven't really impressed me too much. I think this is the first time we've seen the T-side AWP from Cajun B, so maybe this could be the change in pace they need. Definitely not over at this point, but it's looking like it might be because Heroic, the way they're playing right now, are missing a beat. It will be Mirage to finish things off here. A great map for both teams once again, so that could be very interesting. Well, Cajun B, AWP in hand, is being audacious with the way he's pushing without smokes here. Makes himself towards red container, seeing if there is any possibility of him picking up this first pick, but there it is. Does get spotted by Glaive up in the rafters there, but he will fall back with the flashbangs, and Friss, he comes to help him out and lands a hell of a headshot towards red.
Friss, yeah, giving Snappy a chance to walk up from secret as well, which is a late push. May actually work out in all of this. MSL's not fully committing, though, into the inner bomb site, which does leave him with the consideration of that position. Madi's going to try and go back where his teammate went down and catch them off, but it's Volda that steps to the forefront. And he may do more than that as well. Flashbang through that smoke. Rubino's not looking, though. He slipped through the window. And Volda jumping up. He's taken down. He has no idea, but good positioning from Glaive rewards them with a favorable trade once more as they sit in a 3 versus 2. And now Majisk, inside of the site, is going to try and climb back up and push them back out from heaven. That's going to leave Config. He's just slightly exposed, but it gives him information. 5 HP. He's lucky to be alive.
3 on 2, a chance for Dignitas. Not much to work with. Config, 5 HP. Goes in for the plant, but just, boy, this is down to him. Protect the planter and see if he can land some headshots while trying to do so.
Smoke on Hut. Potentially, nope. Buy them time. Not at all. Config, that's the low HP player down, but it's planted for Majisk, who wants to get aggressive and find the first kill before they can counter him. He's got damage done. McGlaive, good headshot, placed the other direction, and Heroic are now 2 rounds away. And Dignitas, I'm surprised again that they've fallen this flat on the T side of Nuke.
Absolutely, this is solid defense from Heroic. Haven't really been tested, though. We haven't seen anything too impressive towards Secret. Every time they've gone towards that area with the smoke, there's been gaps, and they're actually losing frags before they get down there. Most teams can actually send 3 or 4 players down towards that area and actually have a chance of at least going for the contention of the lower bomb site. It's been pretty difficult to watch for Dig working towards upper primarily, sometimes towards ramp, and Body's been absolutely wrecking them in that area. Glaive destroying them before they have a chance to even do anything with outside. And Cajun B, no more for him this time. It's going to be another 5-rifle setup, and the scoreline currently sits at 8-0. One more would do it for map point here, and we will be going to Mirage by the looks of things. And Dignitas can turn it on right now.
So Rubino will mask it once more. Snappy will mask Squeaky Door with the smoke. Dignitas are desperate for a round. No AWP to go against that of Freeze. Flash is over. Glaive. Quick check to see if they're wrapping onto the mini. Onto main. No one's going to do so. Now as he goes, though, he may actually time this correctly. Config. Has he heard him in return, though? He's still searching. He's going to go around the corner. Now it's a one-on-one brawl, and they go back at it. Glaive's got the headshot. Balder's got Rubino. Snappy's got Magisk. Cajun B's got two the other way, though. Is he going to come up with another ace clutch in this situation? Because he's got to do something. Dignitas, like I say, they're facing map point going against them, and it will have to be something along those lines from Cajun B. They time it accordingly. He's confused. He doesn't know where to look, and it's 15 rounds for Heroic.
Interesting. The upper takes, not that creative or innovative. Just going in together with a couple of flashbangs and not dropping all the Molotovs or smokes we've come to expect. How this map has developed, it's been pretty disappointing, I have to say, across the board from Dignitas. Not posting a single round here, 9-0 now, and it just feels that they're not going to get 6 in a row. That's just not going to happen at this point. Normally they'll pick up one at this stage when it really comes down to it, kind of like giving up with the idea, go a little bit looser. You might get one where the concentration slips in the CTs potentially. But this has been very convincing from the CTs. Heroic stepping up tremendously. After a decent terrorist campaign themselves, after losing the pistol, getting 6, that was good. Winning the pistol here just shut down Dignitas completely.
It was almost a forecast of exactly what we're getting now. If they were that good on the T side, surely they must know what they're doing on the CT side. They must have played the map a little bit to get to that pedigree. Glaive. Door open, flashed off. Molotov's finally going in through those skylights. Finally, they use them to their advantage, but Heroic is still finding the kill. Snappy with a 2-for-1 trade. MSL find Freeze laid outside, but finally Dignitas. Finally, they get an execution. Maudie! Oh, Maudie, you've got one, my dear, but that's all you'll get. It's going to go to 15-10.
Well, we see the proper execution there from Dignitas, and what a difference that makes. They actually get the CTs out of position, off the top of the hut, flashed in as well. They get the initial kill. And I did say they'll probably get this one, considering it's match point. The double AWP set up at a P90 for Snappy. Why not? The money's actually pretty tight here. We have seen a lot of clutches, to be fair, to Dignitas. They've lost out in every single clutch situation. Lots of one-on-ones, two-on-ones, and just haven't been able to close them out. So you can see how that's affected the CT economy, but double AWPs, a scary prospect when you haven't got a single one yourself. The T's now making their way in towards the lobby. Maybe this one has got a few more twists and turns.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you how close these rounds have been, all things considered. Dignitas get their first round of the half and double up, but CZ P90. Config. Toward the door. Molotov set again. It worked once. Let's do it again, boys. Let's go back to it. And guess what? They're going to get up on top of that hut. That'll force Snappy out of position. Volda's going to try and get more aggressive on this, though, and play inside the smoke. Flash through CZ75. He just needs to find one to make this work, but he gets turned around. A 360 in the smoke. And it's Maudie, though, that stepped up, and Volda's now gone through. He's just got one back. Cajun finally responds to it. But they've got a man advantage, and they've covered off that lower push. Bomb's going to go down. Rubino gets there in the end, but it's not necessarily the greatest situation in the world for Dignitas, because exactly that. Cajun was segregated, so very important kill for him to find against Snappy.
Here we go, 3-on-3. The retake begins. The CTs actually haven't got any kids here, and Config's starting to wake up as he gets the kill on towards Maudie, who's been a problem in the ramp room. Now they have got the advantage. Freeze and Glaive, at this point, probably saved the weapons. They've got 5 rounds in hand. The money's low. They can take that AWP into the next round and potentially do something with it. But Matt, apparently Dignitas aren't going down without a fight after all. It were 9-0 down. They actually now get 2 rounds in a row, and now only need 4 instead of 5 to take us to overtime. Can you imagine? At this point, the money is low for the CTs. and you're going to have second stage loss bonus. Could be tempted to force into this one. Glaive does go down. That probably eradicates that possibility. But Friss, he saves the AWP. Rubino, very quiet game for him. 8 for 20. But Still, round number 27. We saw a lot of games of the game right down to the wire, especially in that French derby. What a hell of a series that was. This one hasn't been as explosive, but still, the level of CS is still very high.
Yeah, absolutely. Although a little bit more questionable for Dignitas' T-side. They're going to go with speed this time against the Pistols. No stack, no problem. They'll be able to find 2 kills on the hands of Config, and Rubino wants a little blood on his as he'll find Snappy. Just Freeze remaining his AWP, though. Okay, Freeze, let's just see what happens here, because Bomb's ticking, but he's making a play. He doesn't have a kit to work with. And I think he's just going to value this AWP forward. So he gets 2 kills. All right, force a little bit of reinvestment, but just bow out.
I think that's all right, cool. What's the money right now? That third stage lost by $2,400.
Hang on, Rubino.
Oh, okay. You only get $50 a kill for the orb, but I guess that's $150 now. It helps.
I'm not even worried about that. It's just taking it out of the Dignitas hands as they try and mount this comeback. Obviously, they lose a round that's over anyway, so they're going to be able to buy again. But Freeze, you never know what he could have done if he had a contoured hut and found that 3rd kill inside instead of.
Oh no,
that doesn't bounce. I love it. Consistency is everything, right? The outside fence, you can totally bounce it, but you know they don't want to have too many textures on the map for FPS issues. We know Nuke had that, and guess what? That one you can't bounce them off of. Lesson learned.
Interesting. Well, then the buy comes in. This is actually getting to the point now. With Dignitas, I dare say they could do something with this. The money's still not great for the CTs. They've now lost 3 rounds in a row after being 9-0 up. Has Dignitas found some life here? 3 still required, so a lot of work to do. Just got to take each round as it comes. And Freezy's back on the AWP. You can see, though, CTs only have 1 kit. If the terrorists can bait out this utility at the start of the round, slow things down, and somehow get a plant in with an execution we've seen when we know they have. Could be interesting as Snappy gets himself in towards the vents.
So Cajun B is going to go towards Squeaky. I imagine as soon as he hits the jump, he'll run to the right so he's not seen, and then he can control the peak. He may go, all right, he may go for a short peek up close because they've already got the smokes out, so he'll just wait and hold the angle towards Secret instead. So that means Snappy will be smart about this. And normally he's been inside, so this is a change of play entirely for the default setup on the CT side of Heroic. It's Volda that's in the decision-making position of rotating to heaven, but I like what Freeze is doing here. Very passive. He knows the smokes went out early and outside, so walk right by me. Thank you very much, Config. I'll greet you with a hello, but it's a goodbye from MSL. Tags him, though, and you're right, through the edge of that slight lip or curb, I guess you could say, at the railing.
Well, that's impressive nonetheless. The fact he gets that second shot on MSL, I thought that was a done deal. As MSLs get the refrag here, but he takes a bit of punishment. So Heroic now a step closer. A perfect incendiary as well. Puts a lot of pressure on the terrorists as they make their way in. Vowed finds a kill, but Cajun back in return. It's up to Glaive now on the bomb site. He got vision of it.
Oh, that's a problem. Bomb's not planted. There's 10 seconds, and Glaive, he's in the smoke. Pull the knife. Pull the knife, and surely you can deny it, but he can't get that in time. It's over the head of Rubino, who turns around, and Glaive goes down, but Madi, he's got the kill, and bye-bye Cajun B. Bye-bye game. We're going to map 3. As Heroic will pull it back in a chaotic round.
Been a lot of chaotic rounds, I have to say, but that one definitely gets the title of most chaotic, and it's going to be the 3rd map, which is Mirage coming in. An interesting second half. This was Dignitas' pick as well. Didn't arrive until the 10th round in the second half. Lacked any sort of tactical depth at the start. Lots of close clutches, to be fair to them. Modi stepping up tremendously in the ramp room. Vowed and Glaive having great games.
And I don't know why they didn't go to those Molotovs through the skylights sooner. Rubino was masking it every single round, so it's not like it would have been telegraphed. And when they did use them, they won every time. And when they didn't, they walked in and got slaughtered by Snappy at uppers. So I think that using them sooner might have been beneficial. But it's 1-1 in maps, and we get a map 3 in a Danish derby. Finally, the national series will go a little bit further because the French one, as we mentioned, definitely died down quickly, although with a lot of action in a crazy game. 59 rounds over 2 maps.
That's one of my favorite games of the year, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely up there. Classic Kenny Classic shocks. But this one, again, and you mentioned it, their map choice. They stole away the other one. We saw how happy they were in the booth. Now they've got to recover in time for map 3. So we'll take a break. We'll join in with the desk once more for the last segment between maps. And when we come back, we got no choice. We got to crown another semifinalist between these two.
winning bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins, but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CSGO Fast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and StarCraft 2, the largest contests in the history of esports among the national teams. World Electronic Sports Games, the World Championship with the total prize pool of $4.5 million US. Registration for Europe and CIS regions is open. The finals will be held from October 6 to 9 in Kiev, Ukraine. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right now.
It would not be StarSeries if we didn't end the day with a best of three that went all the way. So we have another one. The quarterfinal, the final quarterfinal of the day, ends with a three-map game between two Danish sides that you can't fit a cigarette paper between. It is absolutely even between the two of them. They've